Hey folks, so I'm down at RSPB Dungeness. The temperature up our way was going to be 28 and I didn't want to go out in that weather. And I looked around the coast and surprisingly down here, it was going to be about 8 degrees cooler. Brilliant. So they've got hides. So we've been sat in there for a couple of hours now. Let's see if it makes a call. I've been playing cat and mouse with this lesser whitethroat. They've always been good at Dungeness. The few times I've been here, you always hear them. I'll show you some of the video. Forgive me, it's a bit rubbish, but I got it. I got the call at least. I'll show you what I'm dealing with. It did not like to show itself. So yeah, I'm really... See, he's been in there. Oop. Chetty's warbler, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, lots going on. Anyway, let's get back to the beginning. Yeah, the first bird we stopped for was right in the main road. Was a Yellowhammer. I haven't seen one since Godmersham. No sound because the traffic was really loud. So, but I'm so happy to see it. It stood out like a sore thumb. And I had to get up. I had to park up and run over and get it. And yeah, just a couple bits of video. Coming in, there was a swan, and I noticed there was some red, orange going around the head. So I looked into it and thought it might be some plumage thing, but apparently I've used ChatGPT. It says it's something to do with muddy or iron-rich water. Whenever it dunks its head in the water, it builds up this coating. And sure enough, I've seen the swans were not on that bit of water at the front. I think it's the arc pit. The ones at the front here on this, in front of the, what is this hide? Is it the Ken Barry? I'm always bad with these hides. I should bring you this information. The Dennis hide, sorry, the Dennis hide and picnic area. The swans in front of that didn't have any of the orange, so they must, yeah, it must just be picked up from those pools back there, which are not being flushed as regularly. Parked up, and I'm not sure if they're there now, but the greater whitethroat are very tame. They come out and land on these trees right in front of the, if we stand here for a second, they'll probably come out. But it looks a bit scruffy, so probably feeding chicks, not looking after itself very well. Yeah, it's been difficult to record audio because of the Lid airport, lots of planes flying by. But you can still hear the lesser whitethroat. And into the hide, I'm actually working with my, I'm going to probably keep this on a lot now, the dot sight, because it's perfect for getting birds in flight when they jump out last minute, especially smaller birds. And I've been working on the sand martins. I'll throw over a few. I haven't gone through all of them and deleted them. I've had to go through and select the best ones. I've got some really close ones, but the focus didn't nail it, which I'm not happy with, but I think that just comes with time. And out the front, yeah, really clocked up some species. Sorry about the lens flare. Clocked up some species in there. Lots of common pochard and yeah, great crested grebe down in front. The closest, because the heat haze has been so bad that I just didn't film anything off in the distance. So I got this great crested grebe hoping it would come up with a fish. And over in the distance, there were, on one of the islands, some Egyptian geese having a bust up. I think they're probably fighting over a female, mating rights to the female. And every so often you'd get the crows come in and the terns chase them off. They're obviously after the tern eggs. But out on the front, really good. There were lots of birds in this bush, and a small bird came out, and it was a sedge warbler. I couldn't believe it. So I'd say to my wife, "Quick, shh, no talking," so I could record if it made a call. But it just sat there and sat there. It looked really sleepy, and I filmed in the standard 4K for a little while, hoping it would call or some. It sounded like there were chicks in there. They were making that really light chirping sound. And I filmed, and then eventually flicked it over to the 4K crop and held that still as best I could. No chicks come out, but the lesser whitethroat definitely went into that bush. And I also heard some reed bunting in there. And eventually, as I was sitting there, one jumped out for a few seconds. And when it flew across to another one, I filmed it a bit more. And I thought I'll try for a flight shot using the pre-capture. I'm in the middle of making a pre-capture vlog to let you know how it all works. Actually, I found out it's not called pre-capture on Canon. It's called record. It's called raw burst mode on Canon. because I asked ChatGPT about it and they said no such thing. And I went, oh, sorry. Yeah, different. It's probably on Nikon or something. I'll have to find that out and get back to you. But it flew away from me. I didn't get any flight shots of the reed bunting. Noticed on one of the platforms there are a couple of chicks. I assume they're herring gull chicks. I looked up some similar images and yeah, they look like herring gull chicks. They're either very thirsty or calling for its parent. I couldn't tell from that distance, but there was a herring gull nested nearby, but maybe I don't think it was the parent of those two. Marsh harrier flying in the distance on the other side of the lake. And when we got here, we pulled up, I could hear some calling from above, looked up, and there was a marsh harrier going over. And I took pictures just to check, because there's been a honey buzzard spotted down in Dover. So I thought, what are the chances down here we get one? And I zoomed in, it looks like it had something in its claws. I couldn't tell. So I ran the photo through ChatGPT and asked, what's your best guess? And it said frog or toad. I thought maybe with those thorns or spikes that it would be something like a frog, like a bird that's had its feathers taken off. I say hope, sorry, that's a nasty thing to say. But yeah, I just thought maybe a wing that had been de-feathered. But the gulls were making a racket, so was it one of their chicks? I don't know. So a lot of, yeah, there were lots of buzzard action on the way in, but I couldn't film it because I was driving. And then I heard the ow, ow. Looked up, a little flock of Mediterranean gulls. I don't know what plumage that is. Does anybody know their plumages of Mediterranean gulls? All that first calendar year, second summer. Well, I don't know any. I'm no good at it. Maybe in 10 years' time, I'll get good at that stuff. So we're going to go get something to eat now, and then we're going to go driving, just looking for stuff out on the water. This is going to be the best spot. Maybe we get some Balearic shearwater. They've been spotted here. There's been a rosy starling couple days ago. Will it still be here? I don't know, but we'll go look for it because that'll be a lifer. Watch this space. Welcome back to Dungeness. So what happened was, this is a week later. I was going to go out into the beach area and look for stuff and do an update, and nothing much happened. I'll tell you what I did find now that I'm down here. There were lots of rabbits. Might as well include some rabbits. I don't think I've ever seen any down here. So yeah, lots of them in people's, if you want to call them yards, these random houses in this barren landscape, and any kind of bits of greenery, the rabbits are coming out. Briefly, I saw meadow pipit on the tracks of the little locomotive train, the steam train that goes around. And yeah, and we must go on that thing. It goes a lot further than I thought it did. If I get over there and I see it, I'll take a little bit of video to show you. So today we went into the Dennis hide again. And first unusual spot was a flock of common ring plover. I almost always want to say little ring plover, common ring plover. So they were scampering around on one of the islands in a group of about, I think 8 to 10, spreading out on one of the islands. Yeah, the islands are weird because some of them have no birds on, and then this one has got all of the pochards and the tufties and the common terns and the cormorants. I don't know why they congregate on some islands and not the other. Safety in numbers, don't know. The herring gull chick's doing well, moving around on the platform. The parent doesn't stay too near to them, so I'm assuming it knows they're safe. It's not going to be picked off by anything. But for chicks, they are pretty big. Yeah, just thought I'd try a little bit of slow-mo here, a little slow-mo there. Common pochard, lots of common pochard. They are fantastic looking waterfowl with those red heads. But common terns, it's a really loud greenfinch. Common terns are yeah, feeding and hunting. My goodness me. Come down, please, so I can film you. And the great crested grebes, they were always near to the hide, and they were coming up with sticklebacks. I believe they're sticklebacks, and someone will say I'm wrong. Little stiff fish compared to the floppy ones that the cormorants at Cross Nest bring up. And they don't swallow them straight away. They're obviously trying to remove the barbs or make sure they're properly drowned so they don't kick around in their stomachs. I don't know. I thought I was going to get one of those dances, but mating dance ritual things, but it didn't happen. What do they call them? Mating ritual dances. A courtship, there's the word. I was trying to think of it earlier. The courtship dance. They just stood up, looked at each other, moved around a bit, and then just carried on hunting. So not to be this time. I've never actually caught that. Yeah, there's a couple of nests. I saw them collecting nesting material. Sorry for the heat haze here. It was very, very distant. Using the 4K a lot today to get to these islands, which are far away. And yeah, like I said, I've come down here. It's a lot cooler, so the 4K isn't being affected too much. This feels like it's going to be a really good evening. Yeah, the clouds have really come in nicely, so it's already, feels like 15 degrees cooler. This was the right decision to come down here. Reed bunting call, excellent. Listen to this. Briefly, a sedge warbler showed up, the same one I assume from the group that was from last week. I was looking thinking I was going to see a wren, but it makes that same noise that the wren makes. A bit like where I was saying that the chirp that the chiffchaff makes is also similar to the chirp that the common redstart, trying to get my species right here. And it always throws me off. I was thinking, oh, that bird makes that call as well. But have a look at the Merlin bird species list that I'm picking up. I left my app running. Incredible number of species. Ignore the hooded crow. I'm pretty sure that isn't here. But saying that, if they're going to be here, it's going to be in this part of the UK, where we had, I think I had one in 2022, just outside of Eastbourne. That was it. And a slightly unusual one, even though it's a common gull. It was a common gull on the side on this island. It was 45 minutes it was there. Knew straight away. You think, what's the difference? It's a smaller beak than the other gulls, but once you've seen it a couple of times, it very much stands out from the LBBGs, the lesser blackback gulls, the greaters, the herrings and stuff like that. It's a slightly smaller bird. I'd say arguably between the greater blackback gull herring and the black-headed gull. That's sort of midway size. Oh, we've got a greenfinch on the feeder. Yes. Stay there. Let me see if I can film it in real time for you. It's got its back to me. Oh, no, it's flown. No, it flew off. So what I'll do is let me check the time. Lock the gate. Jeez, almost forgot. Oh, 52. Yeah, we've got to go. So we didn't get the chance. I did see a greenfinch there, and a great tit and a blue tit, and you can hear the chaffinch, but not today. But we've done well with greenfinch this year. Anyway, we're going to head to the seafront. Right, folks, this is the first time I've ever done this. I've parked up by the power station. I've never got out on foot here. Well, at least up this end. I did go for the grey phalarope about 3 years ago, further up by the boats, but not round here. This is stunning. Obviously, if you don't take into account the power station, it's a stunning, unusual place, definitely. It feels like something in the Outer Hebrides or Shetland or something. But I saw loads of, as you can see, loads of people parking over there and going down this road with beach towels and stuff. So there's obviously somewhere good down there to go. Yeah, we're going to check it out. I've had to wait for a while. Luckily, I had some food to eat, so I ate and waited for someone to leave. So we've parked up. So let's have a little catch up. I'm rushing out before closing at Dungeness. I saw a bird. I thought it was a kestrel, and I thought maybe it's a hobby on the ground. And I whacked on the brakes and looked, and it was a lapwing with 2 fresh chicks. Very, very nice. Heat haze isn't too bad. You can see it struggling a little bit. But yeah, I really had to bolt to the gate because they do close the gate at 5. So just aware, because I saw people walking around on the Broadwalk at Dungeness. I'm like, this place definitely closes at 5, because I went through the gate, and as I was looking at the Arc Pit car park, I could see the gate behind me closing. So I don't know how they're getting out. They'll probably be told off. Anyway, so that was nice. Lapwing and chicks. Briefly stopped on the road for a passing marsh harrier. And then, well, just over there, where I saw the meadow pipit last week, it was there again, and off in the bush having a preen, moving around. There are a lot of meadow pipits here. I'll get to that in a second, but just had and also stonechats here as well, having a preen. The male, is it a male? Yeah, male stonechat having a preen, a young one looking. I think it's a young one, having a preen over there as well. That's where I was looking for the wheatear, not the windchat. No wheatear. But we're going to go around the side of this power station because probably not now. There's a bird there. I should be checking it. Good for black redstarts apparently, this wall. I've seen pictures on that wall of black redstarts. So let me just pause you a second just in case that is one and I miss my chance. No, we're all good. Meadow pipit. Like I said, lots of meadow pipits around here. So let's get to that. Went up to those cottages on the map here, because I've been following the directions for the bird observatory. I didn't notice last time. Bird observatory, I never saw it. So I drove in, had a look, and there's no bird observatory here. Some cottages, look at old fishermen's cottages or something. On the right, I noticed there was a meadow pipit on the wire, and it was very casually let me just pull up alongside it and film. And while I filmed that for a little while, see if it would do anything unusual. And then I got out and had a look around. Didn't see anything, and I looked on the map and it said it's part of these buildings. It's the last one on the right. And I looked and it did say bird observatory. So I Googled it, and it's not like a bird hide or anything like that. Apparently it's something, I think it's something to do with scientific interest. It says bring your own sleeping bags, up to 9 people. And I think it's something to do with studying birds or insects or anything like that. So very interesting. I don't know, yeah, I'll read into it a little bit more, but yeah, I think it's something to do with scientific interest, because there's a trapping area here as well. Like I said, it's a big place for migrant birds coming over. Coming down the road again, linnets all over there, lots of linnets on the fence post here, feeding on the ground, where I saw some starlings earlier, and rabbits. But yeah, been pretty good lighting there for that linnet. And further down, yeah, sorry, just go back to the cottage. It's almost like the meadow pipit is stationed there. The meadow pipit, did I say meadow pipit? The meadow pipit is stationed there, was singing on top of the aerial. As if to say, yeah, this is the bird observatory. I don't know why I just did that, just came out like that. Anyway, we're going to go through this gate. And yeah, just finish off, I saw a little fox coming through, a bit of a scruffy fox for these areas. It should be a nicer looking fox out in the countryside. It looks more like an urban fox. But that meadow pipit is giving it large. I might be able to get some close footage of it singing. But yeah, we're going to go through here and see if anything's out on the ocean, nearly said the ocean again, the sea. All right, see you in a second. No, absolutely no seabirds, just gulls. Went up, checked it out, a lot of people fishing, as you can see. I didn't know it was anything like this. Obviously people knew it was going to be quieter on a stony beach rather than the sandy beach of Canberra Sands or wherever. So yeah, great to see everybody out enjoying themselves fishing. And as I arrived at the top of the mound, I was checking the coast, the water with binoculars, and I saw a seal looking at the fishermen. It's hoping to grab some of their catches. I just hope it doesn't try and grab some of the little fish that they throw in with a line and gets caught. But anyway, so I scanned the horizon a couple of times. I kept looking at this wall, because this wall is where, I've never been here before, but this wall is where the redstarts usually are during the sort of winterish times. I've never been around there, so it was interesting to see it. Now I know where to park and where to look. I'll come back in the wintertime. So nothing else was going on but the meadow pipits. Now what I'm going to do with these meadow pipits is I'm just going to stop talking and let you watch all the footage. Because normally if I've got a certain amount of footage, I'll talk over it to explain what's going on. But they were calling and making little cheeps and chirps and stuff like that. So I want you to hear it, and I haven't got enough talking to go over it. And there's lots of good stuff. The 2 of them obviously collecting for chicks. A lot of grubs in their beak. The one with the smaller browny ones, they're all still moving in its beak. So enjoy. Okay folks, that's a wrap. I almost forgot to do the sum up. So I've stopped down the side of this bridge. Now, yeah, so let's sum up. The Stonechats were the masters of the last bit of the day. They were coming out everywhere, juveniles, males, females, just getting my fill of footage. If they're a bit far, I was flicking to 4K crop, and the light was just perfect for there to be no heat haze. Just beautiful. Yeah, I mean, couldn't have asked for more. This place is the land of meadow pipits and stonechats. Also linnets, definitely loads of linnets. So what happened was, I was coming down from those cottages where the bird observatory is, and I got trying to get some flight shots of these linnets, and a little bit on success here and there, but the rolling shutter was a problem. Moved on to the stonechat that were jumping around everywhere. I got to this bush and was getting some footage of them there. And while I was waiting for them to come out, they were going in and out, a juvenile and an adult. While I was waiting for them to come out, a whitethroat jumped out. Great. So a little bit of footage of that and watched him hop around. Now I thought, okay, I've got a bit of footage of all of them. So time to flick to some pre-capture the raw burst to try and get the flight shots. And I got this sequence of 3. Now, obviously the one with the wings right open is the better looking one, but the sharpest one is when it just takes off. So we'll see how they clean up. Like I've said, I'm telling you now before I've even worked on the photos to fix them up. But yeah, the sharper one is the one as it taking off, and 4000 ISO. And yeah, that's about sums it up. So just the last ones of the day were the stonechat and the whitethroat. I almost forgot. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, it's still 40 minutes to sunset. And I drove back slowly looking for anything on posts, any owls or anything like that, but nothing here. I don't think we're going to get anything else. So we'll wrap it up there, and that was a great day. And consider yourself, if it gets a bit hot in London, for some reason down here is about 10 degrees cooler, and the breeze coming off of the ocean as well, because it kind of juts out into the channel. You get the breeze going through too, and makes things cooler. Okay, hope you enjoyed, folks.